Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. I gotta say, I definitely enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed this episode so much that I was like, GH, what are you doing? What are you doing? The show that, in the beginning when I started watching it, I always felt like it was going to be last place compared to all the other ones. And don't get me wrong, when I had the slow times, it's worse than watching paint dry. But when you got moments like that today, it's not the same, GH. You need to step up your game. Okay, and this is coming from somebody who's been watching GH since high school, and that's General Hospital. In case you don't know, but I figure you do. But just in case you don't, or whatever. Um, but yeah. So Audra got found out, and at first she tries to spin this whole thing. Oh well, more. There's a lot of people that got the same ringtones, and oh when he found out that she racked up a lot of debt in college, and the company, there was a company that paid for it, and the company was by a song that I guess Tucker created a long time ago, or the name of the song. He was like, okay, so you're working for Tucker. You're working for Tucker. I was like, at this point, let's not even sit there and try to, like, don't insult their intelligence, okay? Because you're already caught red-handed. And so she tries to spin it again. Well, listen, you don't want me as an enemy. You rather have me as an ally. I know how he thinks, this, that, and the third. I'm like, Audra, you should just stop talking. Get your bag. Get whatever notes that you wrote for this, well, actually, no, you gotta leave notes. But, get your bag. Start walking. Okay? The fact that she tried to spin this like, oh, I can sit there and I can work for you and, not work for Tucker, and I can sit there and keep an eye on Tucker. I was like, bro, you should just go. Literally was like, yeah, I can't deal with this. You're fired. Now, I love how she did the little pointing thing. I always find it so funny when people point whenever they're upset. They start pointing at you. And it's something that's just so irritating about that. It's like you just want to break their finger. Like, how dare you sit there and point at me like I'm some sort of animal or something? Don't you do this. Don't you do that. Okay. You point your finger at me if you want. You're not going to have that finger by the time that I'm done. You're going to be having 9 fingers. But she was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. And she leaves. And Audrey was like, well, it depends if you feel the same way. Are you serious? What did you go to college for? Because I just don't understand how you didn't just leave. Like, what if you would have said you can stay, then you just would have stayed? Like, really? Well, of course, he was like, yo, you can kick rocks. But of course, Audrey being Audrey can't just take the L like a champ. Okay, she can't just take an L with honor. No, 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 no. She gotta find a way to sit there and try to get the last word. Nice, Audrey. Nice. You may have body karate, but you still have the maturity level of a lot of high school girls. So, a lot of immature high school girls. Let's put it that way. She's all like, oh, well, you're a bad judge of character. You let a lot of people play you and this, that, and the third. It's like to say, well, you're stupid. Yeah, you're dumb. Yeah. And then walks off like, okay, but you still don't have a job. You still don't have a job. And if you say anything, they're going to sue you so much, you may actually have to ask Tucker for another loan. So there's that. So she leaves, and she runs into Nate. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw Nate, I was like, how? You literally just came in here now. Just out of nowhere. Of course, Nate is there, and she's all like, oh, I want to celebrate. Yeah, I'm moving on to new and better places. I was like, she got fired. She got fired. But Nate's like, hey, listen, you can stay in Genoa City. I'll hook you up with, with the place I'm working at. I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but, You can throw your hat in the ring, and I'm looking for a COO or whatever. I don't understand how that business works. Okay, so if Victoria is like the head honcho right now, and Nick is technically the COO of Victoria, then what is Nate? Then what will Audra be? I'm kind of clueless when it comes towards these COO things. I never even heard of that before until I started watching soap operas. So, if anyone can let me know the hierarchy as far as that company goes, like what is Nick's position? 'Cause I know he's not her assistant, but I don't know exactly what is he. I mean, this dude is sitting there offering jobs, and I'm just like, you've been at that job less than how long? And you just you getting people to hook up now? Like, what's going on? I don't know how Victoria's gonna feel about that. I mean, then again, she just sit there and hired Nate. This dude about to literally sit there and screw up his own family. So maybe she can sit there and hire Audra. I know Nick is not going to be happy about that, but he wasn't happy about Nate being there either. So there's that. So Ashley comes by, and Ashley starts whining and complaining about Diane. This is after, I guess she walked in and I guess walked in and seeing Diane and Jack kiss. And so she gets all angry and upset and she leaves. And she comes over Tucker's place. Comes over to Tucker's place, she starts whining and complaining, and she's all like, "Oh, Diane this, Diane that," and I'm laughing because I'm just like, this woman is so under your skin. Her breathing, her existing is enough to sit there and cause you to go into the whole tizzy fit. Literally. She's angry, she's complaining and everything like that. And Tucker's just kind of hanging out and just chilling. Like he's taking advantage of this moment. And of course, one thing leads to the next. And they have some nice skittle mattress tag. Um, so they're hanging out and everything like that in the bed. And Tucker's like, "Oh, I'll go get something for you to eat." And while he's doing that, she's sitting there looking through his files and everything like that, looking at the Jabot files, and Tucker's like, "Hey, listen, you know what most of that stuff is." So they get to talking for a little bit. This dude seems like at one point he was on cloud nine until she started looking through his stuff. But no, it's actually about to get a lot worse. Devon walks in there and Devon goes off on Tucker. He's like, "Yo, listen, whatever your little plan was is done. I fired that chick. I want nothing to do with you. My son is not going to have anything to do with you. And I'm going to make sure that anyone in town that wants to sit there and defend you, I'm going to let them know about you." Now, Tucker did sit there and say something along the lines of, "Watch it, you're crossing the line," or whatever. And Devon was like, "Oh, there's lines now? Okay, what happens if I cross those lines? What happens if I cross those lines?" They go back and forth a little bit. I mean, you can just tell Devon is angry. He's hurt. It's so bad that even Ashley starts tearing up. Because Ashley's like, "Yo, you practically just screwing over your own son. Like, if you can screw over your own son, there is no line that you cannot cross." So he's angry. He leaves. And Ashley plays it off like, "Oh, well, I got to see your true colors or whatever," and she leaves. So I was like, man, we was having a great old time, and you hooked up and everything, and you just living a high life. And in only a couple, less than probably an hour, it all went to crap. Can you imagine that? You get something that you wanted for a hot minute, and with under an hour, it crumbles to the ground. You lost your girl, you lost your son, you lost your grandson, and I'm pretty sure you're about to lose Audra as well. So yeah, he's not having a good day. He walks to Phyllis, and he's like, "Oh, let's burn it all down." Now Phyllis has just been annoying me like there's no tomorrow. Phyllis is all like, "Oh, I can't believe that Summer sided with Diane over me. She didn't defend me, this, that, and the third." And then she made a joke talking about, "Oh well, see, I should start working with my kids." You mean you should start working for your kids? How about that? How about you stop working for your kids? I mean, in the beginning, they're having a little meeting, whatever. And Daniel's like, "Yo, you here? Like, what's going on? Like, I need you to focus. There's going to be game day soon. I need you to sit there and track these people down and make sure that they're right for the company." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I will. I'll do it tomorrow." And Daniel's, I guess he's getting a little kind of annoyed because he's like, "I don't want to feel like I'm the second choice. Like, you don't have to make it so." I mean, granted, let's be honest, he is second choice, but he wants to make sure her head is in the game. And he tells Dan, "Yo, listen, you need to sit there and come at this from her perspective. You need to sit there and see her side. Let her know that you're in her corner. Stop being so defensive. Stop acting like some sort of, I don't know, child, pretty much what it comes down to. Stop acting like a 16-year-old little girl that just threw a temper tantrum. Grow up a little bit. Act somewhat close to your age. And be there for your daughter." He's like, "Yo, yeah, listen. Just don't say that I said anything." Because, the episode before, she was all mad and upset and whining and wah, 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 wah. And granted, maybe some of her points made sense, but I don't know. It's just kind of hard to sit there and take Summer and Kyle seriously at times. Um, so, she takes what he says with a grain of salt. She's like, "All right, I'll sit on it for a little bit." So she leaves. And Tucker, walks in. He's like, "Oh, you look how I feel." And Phyllis is just like, she just has that look. You ever just had that day where it's so bad that somebody starts talking to you, and you're just like, "Why are you talking to me for?" And it doesn't have to be the worst day in the world. It could just be, "Why are you talking to me for?" There's like a billion something people on this planet, and you decide you want to talk to me. You know I don't like you, right? And yet you're still talking to me. Like you ever just been in in that kind of mood? That's how she was. Now, of course, Phyllis went to go try to talk to Summer, but of course, you saw Jack and Jack and Diane kissing. So, whatever plan that Diane Smith they're trying to hatch with Jeremy, it's not going to work. The Phyllis is not going to allow it. I mean, why should she sit there and allow it? I mean, she got to sit there and hold on to this 20, 30 something year old grudge that she did from like 20 or 30 something years ago. Like she was holding to this grudge before I was born at this point. Like I feel like that's how long that grudge has been. Um, Jack and Diane don't really get into too much of anything except for the fact that Diane is very torn because for this plan to work, she's conflicted. She's having a lot of feelings for Jack. They kiss and everything like that. And it's a lot. Oh, by the way, because I haven't been doing reviews for Y&R in a minute, she plans on stealing from Nikki. She feels that Phyllis is too volatile and Ashley's too much of an easy mark. So Nikki's the next best choice. And of course, Jack is like, "Listen, I'm not a fan of any of this, but you do what you got to do. I will try to smooth it over. We'll make this work." Now, I don't. Jeremy's not an idiot. Okay, I don't know what kind of plan she's trying to do. I mean, at least she's trying to be proactive. I give her that much, but this plan was doomed to fail. It was going to be doomed to fail, regardless if Phyllis got involved in this or not. It was still just doomed to fail. Point blank. Period. It just was. Let's see if I missed anything. I think that's about it for the most part. I can't really think of too much of other things that really happened in this episode. Oh, wait, that's not true. Lily did get a chance to talk to Daniel. Now, because I haven't really sat there and talked about a lot of this other stuff been going on. So let me get this straight. Lily and Billy had one couples counseling session, and she's already just like, I'm done with this relationship. Why did you even bother to go? Why did you even bother to go? Why did you even entertain that idea if you were just going to sit there and break up with him anyway? In the beginning, you were like, we need to take some time apart. And then Billy was like, let's go, let's do this. I want to sit there and give this a try. She had one session. They had one session, and she's already like, I want to just end our relationship. Which, by the way, they sat there and they talked about this counseling thing, and they talked about how brutal it was. But you know what would have been better than having those two talk about their session was to see the session. Now I'm late to the game, right? But it seems like, from what I hear from other people, is that they do a lot of this stuff off screen. Apparently, they had a court case with Amanda at one point that was off screen. The whole thing with Michael Baldwin being captured in some sort of third world country or whatever, and then his escape and all that stuff like that, and him getting back, all that stuff happened off screen. Now, I watched a video called Wayne's Talk, I think, and he was telling a lot of people that a lot of this stuff happens off screen to save money, which is sad. I also feel like there's a certain level of laziness that's involved. I mean, they hired another actor to play Chelsea's therapist. They hired two. We can see one session with Billy and Lily. Let me guess how that whole Mariah and Tess meeting this birth mother is gonna go off screen. How much you want to bet that their first interaction is going to be off screen? I mean, let's be honest. It's not like they really do much with Tess and Mariah anyway. They don't give them any good story. They're just there for filler. It's a shame, but that's just what I've come to expect. I've heard they used to actually have really good storylines back in the day, but now it's just, well, we're doing this because representation and all that good stuff. So that's, yeah, we gotta sit there and make sure we hit that check mark. Let's be honest, they're not doing that on B&B because of reasons, and I think at this point everyone knows what those reasons are. Start with Dubai. Um, but yeah, I mean, think about it. You got four soap operas, right? And there's only one that doesn't have any sort of LGBT characters in there. Not one. Yeah, I heard they used to sit there and do it back in the day, but that was back in the day. We're talking about now. So yeah, I feel like this interaction with Tess Mariah and the baby mother is gonna, or the the mother to be or whatever, is gonna be off screen. Anyway, I can't really think of too much of anything else that happened in this episode. Like I said, Lily and Daniel just gonna sit there and talk because she doesn't want to go back home. Okay, she doesn't want to go back home and sit there and deal with the deal with Billy. Like at this point, it's like just move out. You can stay at the hotel for a little bit. It's not like you can't afford it. I don't want to go back home. So, are you going to go back home super late and then wake up super early just to avoid him? I mean, let's be honest. It's not like the dude actually has a job. Not that he needs a job, because if he actually comes from money, I don't really understand the point of like working really. You can just work whenever you want. I mean, seriously, if let's just stop and think about this. If they both pay for that place, why do you feel? Why does it feel like he is running her out? Actually, tell you that just contradicts the first thing I said. But I'm like, well, if that's the case, just move out. Don't come home late and leave early. Like, what do you? I feel like that's what she does. Now that I think about it, I feel like that's what she does. She probably stays out late, hanging out with friends or whatever, and by the time she thinks that Billy's asleep, she'll come home and she'll leave super early. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. If I missed anything in the review tonight, I mean, if I've missed anything in the review, I will be going live, doing a live stream 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So whatever I miss, sit there and talk about it. We could chop it up there. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.